This is Art Television.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
SLT Mobitel Home Broadband Online Learning Sa Working Data Demana. SLT Mobitel.
IWS Aviation.
Very good evening. Welcome to the State of Business on our television. I'm Sachin Ratnayaka. Let's look at the headlines first. Economic crisis in the country would ease by January. Central Bank of Sri Lanka governor assures. Constitutional lawmakers of the country should be allowed to make the laws for the country. NPP parliamentarian stresses. News in detail. The central bank governor Ajit Niwad Cabral yesterday expressed his confidence that the economic crisis in the country would be eased by January. Governor Cabral also expressed that the foreign currency exchange rates offered by authorized money exchangers are under close scrutiny of the central bank.
We are monitoring them. We have had several instances where it has not been entirely in accordance with their assurances. So we have seen certain instances where there have been lapses. We'll deal with those. We are also dealing with some of the schemes that have been implemented over the last few months perhaps, which have also caused some disruption. Particularly some people use the banking sector as well. We have got wind of some of those instances and we are dealing with that. There are some clearing houses, as it were, which are indulging in this kind of clearing of foreign exchange receipts, which occur in one part of the world, and there is a mirror image transaction taking place here as well. So these need to be addressed, and we are using the laws as well as the persuasive powers that the central bank has with the banks to deal with that. And we have already started action on that, and we will very soon see some results which will bring down the effect of that kind of a transaction.
Sri Lanka Muslim Congress leader and parliamentarian Rauf Hakim suggested that Sri Lanka's diplomatic relations should be transactional. Veteran parliamentarian Hakim made these observations during the committee's state debate on the budget proposals under the financial heads of the Foreign Ministry, Regional Cooperation State Ministry and Mass Media Ministry yesterday.
Now, this is why I say our diplomatic relations have been transactional. We have been ad hoc. We have not looked at the sentiments with much more sensitivity and have conducted our foreign relations. Now, take for instance what is happening with the other European Union bloc. Now, European Union, all of us know, now we have almost 30% of our exports go to the countries in the European Union. We enjoy the GSP Plus concessionary tariff scheme, and which is very advantageous for our apparels, processed food, seafood, toy products, porcelain, and such items. Now, 30% of our entire exports is a very large amount, and this can be seriously impacted if we don't comply with the requirements of the European Union when it comes to the conditions that they impose.
Sri Lanka Muslim Congress leader and parliamentarian Rauf Hakim also said that our foreign missions in European countries have completely failed to read the sentiments of neighbor countries. During the debate, MP Hakim claimed that the government did not follow a proper and continued engagement with the European Union, which could have directed them for satisfactory decision on Sri Lanka.
Our mission in Brussels knew very well that a country like Philippines, when the resolution was tabled against Philippines in the European Parliament, they followed it very carefully and saw what was going to happen. All of us know Duterte's regime is also accused of summary executions, impunity and extrajudicial killings. All these issues also impacted on these resolution being passed against the Philippines. And our mission observed that. And they failed to understand we'll be the next. And they couldn't even foretell They only finally found it in the website when the European Parliament passed a very damaging indictment on us with a resolution against Sri Lanka, and that paved the way. And finally, a mission came a few months ago, and I'm sure their reports will be out by end of this year. And then we'll have to be carefully, because we don't have a proper way of continuous engagement with the European Commission. We need to engage with the European Commission to see that all these allegations would be dealt with sufficiently.
Stay tuned for more news. We'll be right back after a small commercial break.
SLT Mobitel Home Broadband data balance එක බලා ගන්න extra GB මිලදී ගන්න දුරකථන දෝෂ වාර්තා කරන්න දැන් හරිම ලේසි. My SLT app එක භාවිතා කරන්න නැත්නම් 01121212 SLT Mobitel ස්වයංක්‍රීය සේවාවට පිවිසෙන්න.
Connect with SLT Rainbow Pages, your true local search.
Welcome back to the State of Business. National People's Power parliamentarian Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that Obscene Publication Act and some other new regulations were not properly discussed by the lawmakers. Dr. Amarasuriya, who represents the leftist party JVP in Parliament, suggested that those regulations should be discussed broadly.
As you know, last year also we spoke about the fact that there is an attempt to bring in some form of media regulation, but the minister assured us at that point that this would not take place without appropriate consultation. However, we note again that according to media reports, there is a proposed Obscene Publication Act which has been approved by Parliament, and once again this too has not really discussed sufficiently with stakeholders, because we know that in a context where there is a heightened sense of nationalism and majoritarianism, even laws that may be drafted with good intentions can be interpreted and applied in ways that affect those who are exercising their right to free expression. So especially this is of special concern, particularly for artists and those who have critical perspectives, who even now have been unjustly targeted very often under the guise of obscenity. So this is something that I think we need to be very cautious about.
National People's Power parliamentarian Dr. Harini Amarasuriya also suggested the government that those traditional consultative sessions when making such laws and regulations should be conducted not after drafting of such laws, but during the drafting sessions.
Laws of this nature are often used to target those who are critical of the government in power. Cabinet approval has also been granted to appoint a committee for the amendment of existing laws applicable to journalists and media institutions, and for the preparation of policies and ethics. This is a good thing because we know that there is a huge need to professionalize the media industry so that there is proper sort of career path and career opportunities for those who engage in this sector. However, once again, questions are raised as to the consultative nature of these initiatives, and the important factor here is that the consultations actually should be taking place at the time of drafting these various amendments, rather than simply after drafting various regulations and then submitting them for some kind of cosmetic kind of consultative process. As you know, this is what is happening also with regard to the new constitution that is being proposed. A committee is appointed. The views of the public are still not really being taken into account, and will only be taken into account once we see a draft.
Stay tuned for stock updates. We'll be right back after another commercial break.
අන්තර්ජාලය ෆයිබර් සමගින් බලකැන්වෙන තැන ඉස්සර වගේ නෙවෙයි දැන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වේගවත්ම සහ පුළුල්ම ප්‍රීමියම් ෆයිබර් අන්තර්ජාලය SLT Mobitel Fiber දේශීය ෆයිබර් බලවේගය.
Connect with SLT Rainbow Pages, your true local search.
Welcome back to the State of Business. Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 171.95 points to close at 11,197.68, and the S&P SL20 gained 61.50 points to close at 3,828.91. The turnover was 9.1 billion rupees and over 335 million shares were traded. Coming up next with foreign exchange rates. With that, we wind up today's news. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. Take care. Good night.
State of Business was sponsored by
SLT Mobitel Home Broadband Online Learning සහ Working Data දීමනා SLT Mobitel.
IWS Aviation.